the connections that we made, not only with each other, but with all of the other couples here. I hope that we're gonna take this back to our community in which we live and share it with any and everybody that God sends our way. This dream, I'm not sure if it's an international program, but wish is to be able to have this go internationally, that all nations can be able to pick up and incorporate some of these skills that we've learned into their marriages.
My hope is to continue from this time, because we've done it before, but like you're saying, you want to hold on to it and keep it going in the marriage. And that's my hope, that we'll continue it and not put it to the side. And I see the value this time around is very valuable. And we grasp it even better and more. And my dream is that my wife will continue to smile and be happy throughout the marriage. From the very first day that I met her, that's how I met her. I saw her smile, and it really drew me. So, it's my dream.
Wishes, hopes, and dreams. I think a lot of them have been answered here. Wishes and hopes just to better ourselves individually and as a couple. Dreams mostly for our children. I think that our children just kept hitting home all weekend long that, man, we really got to do this with them, that this is going to help them in their lives as well, but also an interesting opportunity for the two of us to share what we wanted to hear and in what capacity that's going to look like and be like both in our faith community and in the military community.
I hope to become, I confuse the conscious, I think it's the unconscious competence, basically making this a habit, I think, for our marriage. And to instill that and become a part of it where it's just as natural as breathing. I think that's my hope for us. Work, I'd like to work myself out of a job. I see so much hurt come into my office, so I use this as part of that. Thanks.
My wishes, hopes, and dreams, just like Natalie said, is to incorporate this with my boys. You all don't know the ugly side of me, but I have ugly habits that I've learned from my dad, which are not good, and I display them a lot at home. And I don't want my boys to do that with their spouses. So in doing this and in using some of the tools so that I can speak with them and not at them, you know, my 22-year-old, I just tell him what he needs to do. I don't ask him what he wants to do. And he's a man and he needs to tell me what he wants to do. So by helping with the tools we receive, not only can I help, you know, the young couples, but also my own family where it starts.
My wish, hopes, and dreams is I wish that, like Nancy said, or my wife said, that we can use this tool and get out there more. If you don't use these tools, you'll lose it. So I like to, like I said, help in any way and make these better and easier for us. So I think if it's more repetition, it becomes second nature.
Brian and I find ourselves working a lot with married and single sailors and Marines, and this being something that we can use. There's a lot of hurt at our mapping. If you look at the past year, things that have happened, and we've just been praying, God, how do we provide outlets? We want to go back. There is a definite slot that the chaplain fills. And it's a weird little zone that we live in. It's hard to explain sometimes, but hoping we can use this to keep people healthy, keep families healthy, and to move forward so that in 2 years we're looking back and we have a spiritually healthy man.
Wishes, hopes, and dreams. David's been telling me for the last 3 or 4 months, we go to chow hall and eat lunch together, just kind of vent or share or whatever. or just be goofy. And
Get kicked out.
he's been telling me, I've heard him, he's been telling me, and I haven't really received it, to be honest with you, that he wants us to get together and really do something meaningful, and I'm just kind of, yeah, whatever. But, I'm just being honest with you. But
That's a fact right there.
I get dismissive with things because my mind, I know what I'm focused on, I know what I need to walk in, I know what my purpose is. But I do realize that we do need to be doing that because there's a dynamic in our team. Not just me and Dave, but also with, can I call you Kim for the purpose of this retreat? And the other, everybody on the religious ministry team at MAG 31, that team needs to be, we need to leverage that strength. So my hope is to see that leverage.
I'm used to talking to preschoolers, so I wish at the beginning I would have told y'all to all catch a bubble. That might have made me feel more comfortable, but
So,
I hope to and dream to take this further and get more comfortable and be able to talk in front of people.
And we've talked about and agreed that if no other dream, we hope at least one other couple's life and relationship gets better as a result of us making an effort.
Well, I wish to definitely, it's not a hope, but I wish, and we are going to take this back to our unit. I say our unit, but her real estate, and I'll get with the chaplain again, and I wish to expand on pairs and make it part of MARSOC where I'm at, and kind of grow that into the institution. There's a lot of Marines that need it, as we all suffer loss and deployments, and deployment cycles, and that kind of thing. So my wish is to take it back to the chaplaincy program there. I'm infantry, not a chaplain. And shape it to the way it is and get together and come up with a good program. I can't say program, it's there, but come up with a good timeline and how we want to implement that into the MARSOC op-tempo, So that's my wish there. The hope is that's going to impact a lot of people there and grow from there. And I'm sure it will. As we've witnessed it and experienced it, it's going to do the same. The dream is, as we continue our path together as a married couple, and that we continue to grow our relationship and be the example to everybody else as we share with them our experiences, and even from taking the crossroad, going one way or the other, and I've gone the other way, and now we're taking a detour back to the right path. So.
I hope that I stay in contact with many of you because I feel like I've connected over this weekend with people that I could see myself being lifelong friends with. And I thank everybody for that. And I know that Troy and I will use this a lot. The more we teach, the more we learn. So my goal is to help others get to where we are, that we're open and willing for ourselves and to help others. And my dream is that, I can touch many, many more lives and help them with their marriages.
My hope is, as all of you, we went to a pairs before, and although we did take some of the techniques back, we did for a while, and then it kind of seemed, your life, you get busy, and your kids and work, and you kind of forget to do, then it comes from doing it a day to every other week to a month, and then you kind of, it just falls off. And that right there, my hope is that all of you that want to keep this alive, and as instructors, the more you practice it, the better you're going to be to present it. And also to be able to let them know how it's affected or how it's made your relationship better. So with that, our hopes, well, my hope for us also would be that we continue, that we don't fall off that truck, and we continue to practice that, because it's been very helpful. This time around, we have hit so many spots in our relationship that we didn't even know that we had an issue with. And it just opened up a whole, it just opened up my eyes to a lot of things, and I feel so blessed that I shared this with all of you, and that we're gonna go home and we're gonna do this with my daughter and my son. And I was so eager to come and to become a part of this, and as a matter of fact, you know, I would say, hey, Jason, have you checked with Chaplains? And he's like, no, okay, well, I already called him anyway.
I was too, but I knew that she was better at it than me.
But yes, that was my, that's my hope for all of us, and my wish is that all of you, and including us, go home and we share this and we kind of spread this knowledge and skills with those that we know need, especially the Marine families, the Navy families, all the troops and their families. There's a lot of need for them to understand, especially all the young couples, the very young couples that don't have a lot of experience. It's very important for us to, as mentors, as supervisors, as OICs, as, you know, those that they look up to. It's really important.
For me, I learned a lot from everybody here, and I think it was a benefit to have a more mature group than the last class. I think it's kind of why we matured a little bit more too, and I think some of you said that as well in conversations. But I hope that we maintain contact with each other. If you have something going on, I hope that you invite us to participate, and we'll look to do the same. And then Seth touched on it, and we talked at dinner a little bit about it. One of the things for me that I really want to work on is passing this down to my next generation, to our next generation, so that this becomes habit for them, and then they make the world a greater place because of what they're doing and what they've learned from us.
Well, I wish personally, certainly, that I can extend this, like everyone else has said, throughout the generations of my family. I also really hope that that the United States military, all branches, would understand the power of providing these kind of getaway times, and don't lose that, you know, with budget cuts and funding problems. My dreams are, of a world in which everyone has not just access, and you know, we're not even there with food, water, shelter, and air. And our world is, you know, our air is getting dirtier, water is more scarce, food is in short supply. You know, all of those things are problems already, but I would also hope that everyone could have the opportunity to really have an interpersonal relationship where they're bonded with another human being. Coming from the place that I came from age 4, I was bonded with God for the longest time before I could trust another human being. That was great. That was awesome. But I don't believe that that's God's vision for us as living a fully wonderful and authentic life. So I want for everyone that they could have someone they would be able to bond with.
Because I just follow, actually, honestly follow him with him. But another thing is I'm not the person in front of people to speak in front of people, but I wanted to help with people, person to person, instead of in front of people like my husband. So it's a lot helpful for me, and then I'm able to I'm able to help other people based on this lectures. Thank you.
We all know, you know, in the military, especially where I am, you know, and where you are with the Marines and their families, it's beyond the sadness, you know. So I really want to bring this to my unit, and then, you know, restore the families and restore the marriages, and put them together and empower them and strengthen them.
Tony was talking the other day about the doggone starfish story that probably most of us have read and flies around the internet, and it comes back to me every once in a while, and he tells me again, and I get a tear in my eye every time, because I think it made a difference to that one, you know, and that's where I want to live, is making a difference to that one.
And I think, as I said, when we first got here, that, you know, the first 13 years of our marriage was hell, literally hell on earth. And the Lord has really done a miracle in both of our lives, as well as our marriage. And we have seen through the 21 years that he's in the Marine Corps how many couples are in that place where they just don't know what to do, or they have so many past hurts that they don't even know how to express it or how to release it. And we just want to be able to help touch lives and help share, you know, what went on in our marriage, and hopefully help their marriages.
Our country is in trouble, and this is a huge thing, but if I had a big sign to carry up here, I would carry this sign, because we just need to learn how to show love. In my faith tradition, we talk about a culture of life and love against a culture of death, which exists in our country, and relationships are where it starts. And I work a lot in the pro-life community, and just something as simple as accepting accidents that happen and loving people instead of rejecting them. So that's my wish, my big wish, and then I hope we can bring some of these things into our young adult children that we have, our own kids.
I guess my hope, wish, and dream, all kind of all melded together, is that you know, everyone here has been around the block. I mean, you're not spring chickens. No, nothing. I'll tell you, even you young guys back there. I mean, the bottom line is, you know, whether you're a chaplain or you're an operator, you're a leader. And you know, I was on recruiting duty, and I remember, I tell you what I think of chaplains is, I don't know if I ever told Tony Reza this, but I was like a passionate that every recruiting district at a minimum ought to have a chaplain. It was like the drill field, okay? The stress that goes with it pales in comparison to what a recruiter stress is. And I tell you, I've been both places, so it does. And it is much more challenging in a recruiting world because you're dealing with a lot of rejection that a drill instructor doesn't get, which emotionally is a challenge. So I hope that you, all as leaders, can go back and in your respective you know, commands or locales and impart this. And I hope I can participate at some level in that endeavor. You know, Tony and I were already talking about maybe going to see General Castelvi to talk about maybe, you know, getting the ball rolling with this process. You know, like any other process where you force people to talk about their emotions and their feelings, it's invaluable. And you know, I had a bit of an epiphany when I was looking through the emotional maturity thing when you talk adolescence. You know, most of the Marines you're dealing with, right? I mean, if you think about it, Lance corporals who are married. Some of you remember General Monday said, oh, Marines shouldn't get married until they're, what, NCOs, right? Oh, we got beat up over that. Whereas a commander, I'm thinking, hey, where to go, General? Good idea. Great idea, because they're not emotionally mature enough in many cases to be married by the time you're a PFC or Lance Corporal, or much less bring them on active duty as a married couple. Okay, it's a big issue. What's that? Well, but I mean, you know, so I guess my hope is that we can kind of realize that these folks are in many cases adolescents. And that young man who's at work, working in the Marine Corps day in and day out, being told what to do, because quite frankly, he's a troop. I mean, he's a Lance Corporal, he's a young guy, and then he comes home and he's got his 18-year-old wife telling him what to do. Amen. And you have natural conflict, right? Natural conflict. He never gets to be the man of the house. He never gets, you know, because he just doesn't, you know. So I think it's so critical, and you got to think through it in many facets, many more facets than I even talked about. But I mean, it's just so vital, and I hope that we all benefit from it, and I know I have, and go forward and do good things.
My hope is that I, like I said before, I really hope that I can pour over all this information. I feel like we've been fed with a fire hose over the last 4 days, and get it into bite-sized, manageable, presentable pieces, and make it my own, and so that it can really bless other people, and that they can be benefited by the techniques.
My hope is that now having this, that we'll be able to give assistance to the chaplaincy, and to be able to help out Military is something, I spent my whole adult life in the military. Then I retired and have spent the rest of my life around it, have children in the military. I just see such a great need for this. And my dream is that, my dream would be that there would never be another marriage that would fall apart. That even though they might struggle, and struggle's good. There's birth that comes out of struggle. But those marriages would find a way to enter into a conversation where they're able to share both their emotions and their spiritual hurts, and healing come out of it.
I have so many. I mean, I was one of those kids that started bucket list when I was like 10 years old, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I think with my wishes, hopes, and dreams is to even go back and use this with my family. Take this back to my drill instructors, 80-90% divorce rate. And give them something that they can maybe use daily, like the DTR, that they can use when they only have maybe 10 minutes to see their spouse work. Use the DTR with my RP to let him know how much I appreciate him. And then also it gives room to actually if maybe stuff that we both need to improve on and recommendations. And then also the hopes and dreams of us working together to make us a better team. And then, of course, I mean, I'm getting married in 2.5 months. And so I'm really excited to be able to use this and speak with Thomas. And so I'm really excited to be able to work with him maybe eventually go through this so that we can encourage others because just like you said, I have a passion for people. When I see people in pain, that empathy that sometimes I know it's a great asset, but I also know it's a big weakness, but I want to focus on how much it is amazing. And I want to help people to know how much that there is hope, no matter what type of relationship they are in. And so I'm just really excited to use this in all walks of life.
I am just in awe, y'all being here this weekend has just touched my life in such a way, and just seeing just knowing personally how this parish curriculum has impacted our life, and to be able to have you all experience that and have the desire to continue that just touches me so deeply. And I know it's already been shared, just the great need that we see, especially with young couples, that just is something we so much want to incorporate, and just so they will have healthier communication in families and like Seth said, for generations. So that's my wish, hope, and dream, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward for all of us to our paths to cross again and work together. That'd be great.
My wish is that I know part of you from faith community. I've been a pastor for 30 years. I've been chaplain for 25, reserve chaplain. I've walked in both worlds. Churches need this. The problem with our faith communities is not the book that's the problem. It's our relationships that are the problem. And a lot of people in our faith communities, our churches, synagogues, they don't have this skill, and they need this skill. Otherwise, they fall apart. And that's the bad testimony to the world.
Seth, my brother, my friend, you have changed so many lives. You've changed my life. My wife and I are married, and I just pray you continue to be able to do this, and this is a message that the world will change. Thank you. Bless you.
If you have a wish, hope, or dream you want to share.
That this doesn't stop right here. And in fact, in some ways I really believe you're the ones that will make the difference, whether it does. Your prayers, your willingness to participate at whatever level of conviction you can. It's in our hands. It's in God's hands.